Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Badge on WBCB 1490 and 107.3 on the dial. Uh, it's a show that certainly brings a lot of wealthy information to you, our listeners, in the Bucks County region, uh, South Jersey, the Trenton area, Philadelphia, and we wouldn't be able to do this without the help of Paul Muller, who's been our sponsor for many, many years. Thus, the reason that we do the show live right here at 746 East Lincoln Highway, the Team Toyota dealership, home of the Heroes program.
Mm.
And obviously, my very, very special friend, Joe. Obviously, Joe is Safran, who's not here with the Bucks County Tour of Honor. He's going to be coming on our next show. But today, obviously, my partner in crime, the Sheriff of Bucks County, Fred Harran, is here. Fred, good morning.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning to you. Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you.
We haven't.
No.
No, because we were going to meet
We
at
were, but
King
yeah,
George, but
right.
You were out of town.
Yeah, we went out overnight. So
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Joe obviously is not around, but Charlie, you're with us in our retired police, fire, and correctional officers building down on Sally Avenue in Northeast Philly. Charlie, say hello to everybody.
Yeah, good morning. Belated Happy New Year. And I hope next year's a lot better than we've been going through for the last few months. A lot of sad stuff. Don't want to bring it up right now.
No, our condolences, obviously, to Mr. Safran, Joe Safran, and his family, who experienced a terrible loss this past week. But Joe, obviously, that family, they'll bond together, and that's what family's all about, right, Fred?
Yes.
When these types of occurrences happen. Fred, we did the thanks to Paul Muller, and now we want to thank you for being here as always.
Oh, my pleasure. It's good to be here. I love being able to have some casual conversation, if you will, about issues and things like that. So
yeah, and the things like that is what's important to our listeners, right? And along with the issues. But let's begin with your perspective, your vision for 2025. Now that we're receiving a new administration a week from today.
Yeah. As they
Hard
say,
to say, right?
time will tell.
Yep.
Hopefully things go smooth in Washington. I think they need to understand that for everything that they do or delay or rush, depending on the way you want to look at it, it affects us here. For the folks, not only for the residents of Bucks County and the visitors of Bucks County, but those that are working to protect Bucks County and keep it safe. So sometimes. Local politics and local officials have an impact every day on our lives, setting real estate taxes and schools and local ordinances and stuff like that. But, in Washington also affects us on national agendas and, finances that are available to us locally. We've been very lucky. Our Congressman Fitzpatrick's been great getting us funding to do not and you know me, I just say it like it is.
No, that's the way it should be.
Not silly projects, but good projects, projects that really help law enforcement and emergency responders and social service. I mean, the gamut of initiatives throughout Bucks County that really have an impact on individuals' daily lives. So those are things we need to ensure continue. Certainly, crime is always a topic. Folks that are here illegally, and not just that, but just, American citizens that are committing crimes too. I don't want people to think it's just folks that are in this country illegal.
That would be a big mistake.
Yeah, that would be silly to assume that's the only place we're getting crime. And although we've had some decreases, it's still good to. That's a number you want to keep working to get down and down and down, because that affects everybody's daily lives. When your family goes out, is everybody coming back? Is your house or your business going to be left the way is going to be there the way you left it? So these are important things, and with some policies and procedures, maybe in the next 12 months or next couple of days, starting next week, let's make sure we're on the right track. And I think we're going to be, as long as we can get stuff done, and stuff doesn't get bogged down in D.C., which it has a tendency to get stuck there. So let's see what happens. But I'm optimistic anyway. To make an answer to your question, I'm optimistic. I want to make sure that our first responders and folks that need the money, social service and stuff like that, that needs money to keep everybody safe and healthy, that they get the funding that they need to continue. We'll see what happens if California is going to have an impact on that now. I'm certainly not an expert on environmental forestry and what caused fires and all that sort of stuff. But as Americans, we have to help each other, but to a degree. And I do agree with the president. If they're not willing to fix the problem, if someone has a leak in the house and they got the rugs all molded and damaged, the insurance company doesn't mind paying to fix the rug, but they also want you to fix the leak. They're not going to put money into a new rug if you're not going to fix the leak. They're not going to make that payment twice. So obviously that's a little bit more simplistic than the damage in California, but I think it's the same premise. California is a disaster with their literally a disaster with a lot of their policies. I mean, I just had I'm not going to mention his name, but a very good friend of mine I just spoke to. He's a lawyer. He was here in this area here, and he took a great job with a company as the head lawyer for this company, a vice president for this pretty decent sized company in California. And I just talked to him not that long ago, right before the holidays, and I didn't realize that he moved. They're letting him work remote, but he moved out of California. Very bougie house, I should say, on the coast. And he said there were homeless people at the bottom of his driveway.
Oh,
and they left, and he's still working for the company, but he's working remotely now in Florida. So Governor DeSantis isn't going to let that happen.
No,
so these
sure.
are the things that happen. We see what's going on in New York right now. Again, I'm a big fan of Bill Bratton. Follow him on LinkedIn and stuff like that. He was the commissioner twice in New York, famous for the broken windows theory, and the stuff that's happening in New York now. It's from all these, ridiculous policies that they have. So we got to help each other, but you got to fix the problem. You just can't be pouring money into a sewer that's not going to fix the problem.
No,
so.
That's the truth. Well, as you know, the present administration has agreed for the next 6 months ahead to give 100% of what they have to support California. And to your point, the cause of it, there's a lot of characteristics. A lot of it has to do with the weather, the shifting winds out there, and it's disastrous. But it's one state that needs a helping hand. That's for sure.
You know what they say: if you want a good real estate deal, buy waterfront property in Nevada, because California will break off one day, and Nevada will be waterfront.
Isn't that the truth, though?
Buy some property in the desert right now; it'll be waterfront eventually.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
But listen, we have our own problem. And people, if you think there's not homeless people in Bucks County, you're sadly mistaken. We have our own problems here, and frankly, that shouldn't be. So we need, our money should go to helping people here. I'm all for no one should be homeless. My wife and I, we were just talking the other night, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine in this cold weather having nowhere to go.
My God.
First of all, I'm cold right here. I don't even want to. I put my jacket on if it was camera. If that wouldn't be such a problem, but. I don't like the cold. I could be outside in August in a suit. It doesn't bother me. At a scene, or it doesn't bother me. But this weather goes right through me. So I could not imagine, being homeless. And that just shouldn't be. I mean, we should not have people in Bucks County hungry or homeless. And now they're diverting money to, a state that created a lot of their own problems. I mean, we need to help those people. That's not what I'm saying. So please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. But folks, we got our own problems right here in Bucks County that needs to be taken care of. We only have one homeless shelter, and when I was in Ben Salem as the director there, I was complaining to the county for probably 2 decades. We need more than one homeless shelter. The problem with that is no one wants it in their neighborhood. I get it.
Exactly.
But we need to figure something out.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. There's so many different changes that need to be rectified right now. Let's talk a little bit about the deportation.
Yeah.
President, the newly elected president, who will be sworn in next week, as we indicated, that's on the top of his agenda. Well, there's two areas there. Well, there's two parts of it: tightening up the border, and then deportation. It's not going to be easy. And when you look at the resources, obviously in Bucks County, it's not as bad as Philadelphia. Philadelphia, typically we need a police department of around 8,100 police officers. It's down to 5,100.
Yeah.
We're 3,000 short. Where does the support come from, especially with these sanctuary cities, one being Philadelphia, another major city in New York?
Yeah.
These are areas of major concern. The president's on the right track, but how do you enforce these issues and how do you implement them effectively?
You know, I've been getting, as you know, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, so to speak. I don't even know you can say that anymore, but
Right.
whatever.
We're going to get a call from the SBC.
The
anyway.
SBC is going to be mad at me. I shouldn't
Right.
say that, but whatever. You know, I was at the border in April. We've
You
talked
were.
about
Yes,
that
we
on
did.
on the show many times, so I don't want to bring that back up again. But
No.
the problem can be fixed. It's not as difficult, because I've been getting this question now. You know, after Trump won, how would I, and what do I know, or what power do I have or authority, nationally? But you could do anything if you put resources towards it. One is the wall needs to be completed.
Mm-hmm.
The wall needs to be secured. You need to put folks down on the wall, law enforcement. So you need to hire enough to make that happen, and then so you stop the amount of folks coming into the country. That's number one. That's priority. Then you've got to mitigate what you already have here in the country.
That's for sure.
But it's also very possible. One is you increase ICE, you increase their complement, you make computer software more adaptable to local authorities, local law enforcement, local jails, local district attorneys' offices, and then when folks are picked up by, the first line of defense is the American street cop. I always said when I was in Ben Salem, if I wasn't there, my lieutenants weren't there, the place would still function.
Oh, absolutely.
You might not advance, you might not be as organized, but the place is going to function because the backbone of law enforcement is the American street cop.
Yep. I still have my boots from back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah?
They do. They're still there.
And your call box key?
Yeah, call box
Or
key.
did you use a wire with
And my old holster. I mean, it's probably all dilapidated now, but it's
Does it
still
fit?
there.
Probably.
Yeah, believe it or
But you
not,
look
it
good.
does. Yeah.
But, that's the person that was really doing the job. And if you can give them the resources to, when they come across folks, and again, I've said this 100 times, I never wanted to be and I never will be the person that's working in a local restaurant or for some business that's in the country illegally. That's not law enforcement's responsibility.
Right.
But when that person commits a crime,
Then it becomes
our responsibility. And immigration is just another tool to use to stop one criminal from committing crime. So if I can use it, I'm going to use it. So you need to be able to get people, when you get them into custody, you have to be able to extradite them quickly out of the country. That's the key. It's not hard.
No, it's not. Fred, we're going to take a quick pause to identify our sponsors, and let's get back to ICE. Let's talk about the opportunity that...
Can we call ICE heat right now? I'm so cold. I don't want to
yeah,
think about
you
ice.
are. You're looking a little cold. Okay, but where do you get to my age?
I'm right behind you, buddy.
Yeah. We'll return on WBCB 1490 and 107.3. You're listening to Fred Harran, the past Director of Public Safety in Ben Salem and our Sheriff here in Bucks County. We'll return after a few moments.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota is the choice for your next vehicle purchase or service this season. With new Toyota models available for immediate delivery and over 100 certified used and pre-owned vehicles for any budget. Plus service specials to keep you on the road to victory. Shop or schedule online at teamtoyota.net or choose one of our 3 locations in Langhorne, Glen Mills, or Princeton. Are you part of the team?
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video streamed live the 4th Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Welcome back to Behind the Badge, Justice for All, which is something that we are very, very serious about in this county. That's why Fred has been with us for so long. We began this many years ago. Gosh, it's 6, 7 years already, Fred?
This show?
With you and I.
Yeah, probably.
I've been doing it 12 years. Can you believe it?
Yeah, probably 6 years.
Yeah, about 6 years.
5 years, something like that. Yeah.
Bensalem Township. But yeah, the major concern with this show, not a concern, but we want to educate people throughout all the communities in Bucks County and the surrounding contiguous states. And we have New Jersey and Philadelphia, part of Pennsylvania. And the more that you understand what our government officials, what their responsibilities carry, as Fred will always let you know, he speaks his mind openly. That's one of the reasons that Fred is here with us all the time. Because you let it be known to everyone.
Yeah,
hey,
not everybody thinks that's good, but
but it's truth, justice, the American
listen,
way.
I think you definitely know what you're getting with me. I'm not.
No.
If you're hearing the way I think, whether you like it or not, but I think I'd rather have it that way.
Oh, no doubt.
Than let people wonder, or you're doing something behind somebody's back. Just be open. I mean, not everybody agrees with you, and that's okay. Not a problem.
You're right. I mean, look at our neighbor, Philadelphia. When you go back to the 70s, even in the 60s, when this certain individual was a police officer, carried the rank all the way up to police commissioner, and then became mayor, he was honest about everything. Some people didn't like that.
Yeah, right.
Mayor Frank Rizzo.
Yeah.
But the police department was 100% behind him. It's a little disarrayed down there. Commissioner Bethel, I think the world of him. I think he's
doing a
bringing
good
things
job.
around. He's doing a great job.
And I like the mayor. I mean, she's
Parker,
she had to really turn stuff around. I think Philadelphia is going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
I think and somebody, we were just talking about this the other day, I almost think she had to sit down with Krasner and knock off your nonsense, and I think she's serious, the mayor, Cheryl Parker. I met her when she was just announcing her candidacy, and I had never heard of her, not being from Philadelphia. And I'm like, ooh, I just like the way she talked. And she just telling you like it is. I'm like, I really, really liked hearing her. And then next thing you know, she's the mayor.
She's the mayor. True patriot of the city of Philadelphia.
I like her. I like her a lot. And, and I don't really care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I just had this discussion at another meeting the other day. Somebody accused me of just being, using stuff for political reasons. I'm like,
no.
I will say how I feel to either side, and if the politics gets me to what's best for the people, who cares?
It's true.
Who cares? There's a lot of folks that sometimes I didn't care for, but are a little different now. I mean, there's a Pennsylvania, U.S. senator who I did commercials against when he was running a couple years back, and now I'm like, well, I like the guy, John Fetterman.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm excited to see Dave McCormick.
Yes.
The stuff that he's going to do. Certainly, I met him so many times. I did a commercial for him, and I was in his company a bunch of times. He just seems like he just says it like it is,
yes.
and I like that. We've got a new guy in Pennsylvania now, Dave Sunday, who's the Attorney General. I like Josh Shapiro, so it doesn't, to me, I like Michelle Henry was great,
yes.
It doesn't matter whether you got an R or D next to your name. If you're doing the right thing for the people, that's all I really
matters.
care about.
I'm looking forward to meeting McCormick. Maybe you can introduce me to him.
You want to meet him?
Yeah, why not?
He's a good guy.
I think I should. Let's see if we can change my opinion on certain things, and that's what
I like the guy.
That's what America's all about. Yeah, no doubt. But the leadership, obviously, there's so many levels of it. with our congressmen, our United States senators, our representatives that are here, local. Joe Hogan's doing a great job. This kid, Bob Picozzi.
He went to school with my daughter.
Did he?
Yeah, my daughter knows him.
My God.
But we had lunch, breakfast the other day.
Yeah, Charlie was there.
Charlie.
We were all there. Joe Safran,
This
the whole
this
gang.
guy, this young man Picozzi, you're gonna see a lot of him. I think he's gonna be around a long, long time.
Yep. Absolutely. We're going to bring him on our radio show again.
He's just got some good ideas. He seems very transparent, if you will, open, honest. I just like this kid. So
we had a breakfast in Northeast Philadelphia not too long ago. My good friend Roosevelt Poplar.
Oh yeah.
The president of FOP Lodge 5, and I was sitting with Roosevelt, and Mr. Picozzi came in. We sat down, and Joe Gall was the person who actually asked him a question. It was an important one. What is your first priority on the agenda? And he looked and he said, public safety. I couldn't have heard something better than that.
Well, you really, and it's not, I think it's not just because we're in public safety, you and I really think people care about two things when you buy a house. What do you care about? You care about safety and schools, the two S's. Safety in schools, and certainly we have to make sure that our schools get the proper funding that they need to give children a good education, a safe education.
Safe education, that's key.
Not just a good one, but a safe education. And everything else, parks and snow removal and fixing potholes, that just comes with it. That's important, but no one drives through a neighborhood and says, "Ooh, they didn't get rid of the snow quick enough." But they do drive through a neighborhood and see if there's graffiti or crime or trash or what's going on, or school kids that are truant and things like that. These are important things to people.
Of course.
So you do have to get money for public safety. I'll tell you, Casey Tomlinson in Ben Salem has been doing some great stuff for I was just down there the other day for a meeting, and just doing some great stuff for police and EMS.
Well, that's what we want to hear.
And all of our reps here, the ones that I deal with, do a good job. I don't know how people don't vote for items for law enforcement, especially defensive items, not so much offensive, but defensive. And now technology is expensive, but that's really where we got to put our money.
We're going to talk a little bit about that with Safety Blue Alert. This mechanism that has a patent now.
Yep.
I'm very much involved with it.
Yeah, of course.
I know you're aware. You're
it's pretty interesting concept.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's able to go through any type of atmospheric conditions out there. It sends an alarm.
And you got Middletown trying it out soon.
Joe
right?
Bartarilla is going to. That's the next testing. While we're talking about it, we're going to test it. We've done a reenactment, which worked out very well.
Have you brought him? We should bring Joe's now the president of the Bucks County Chiefs.
We're going to bring him back on.
So maybe we bring him on. Maybe
for our next show.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, because Safety Blue Alert is not only going to transcend, but we're going to begin right here, right in in our neighborhoods, with Bartarilla, Chief Joe Bartarilla, and also Bill McVeigh in Ben Salem Township.
Is he trying it too?
They're the two internal advocates.
Okay.
Yes, he's going to try it as well, Bill and Joe. And we're very close to that installation.
Good.
That's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
It really is. John McNesby, my good friend, he's excited about it, and he said, Tom, there's only one bad thing about it. I said, what's that? He said, if a police officer thinks he can hide somewhere for a little bit and take a nap, the sergeants are going to have a hard time catching him because the alarm will go off.
That's funny.
Yeah, from a joking sense. But on a serious note, Safety Blue Alert is not only for police but for our military. Can you imagine having these devices when they're installed here and abroad in the countries that we're protecting? You got military sitting there, and they'll know just where everybody is with the infrared.
Yeah,
technology.
It's a great concept. No, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Tariffs. That's another big thing that they're talking about from a national perspective, and I know this is something outward, but your opinion on that? I mean, a lot of the tariffs are going to be cut back with these countries like China and Japan and all. maybe that'll bring more money in so it can be handed down so that we can use it effectively.
Well, we have to find some way of keeping business here, and driving the costs. You go to the grocery store and you walk out with 3 bags and it's $130. Like,
It's true.
We do it every time we go to the store, and if you're not buying toiletry items, which tend to be on the high side on certain items, and you're not buying roasts and things like that, just the daily staples of life. How do you get to that much money? You got to buy vegetables and fruit and milk and certain things, but when did a pound of cheese become $8?
That's ridiculous. A pound of ham, $8.75. You're right.
Are the pigs charging more money? I mean, what is going on here?
No.
So I wonder how much is real and how much is just businesses gouging. So
that's a big question, right?
That's what I wonder. How much is just people taking advantage of what they can to line their pockets? But hopefully, we'll see what happens with the new plans, and hopefully we drive the costs down a little bit, because people just and I don't know where this is that people are making more money now. I think that's a load of crock. I don't think people are making more money at all.
No.
I don't know who's making more money. I just don't know who these people are.
Well, the car industry has been affected as well. I mean, the manufacturing has been cut back a little bit.
There's everything. I mean, you think even not getting people back into offices still, and that's another thing. Trump wants to get you go to Washington now. It's not that crowded on the streets because people are still working remotely. I know Sherrill Park got people back to work, and people don't want to go back to work. They want to be able to work from home. But how does that affect? That affects dry cleaning industry, cosmetic industry, and all the things that go along with that.
Your
So
tolls?
it's got
Tolls, yeah.
Well,
That's another
Don't
area.
get me on tolls.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if we have enough time to talk about what New York's doing. But,
oh my God.
this is all things that affect the economy and people's ability to live a good life. So I don't know where these people are that are making more money, but I haven't met any of them yet.
No.
So I think that's a bunch of BS. And we'll see what happens. Let's give them 12 months and see if we can get the prices down on stuff. But it's I don't know how people survive.
Drilling. Man,
And
that's huge.
I saw a guy on a commercial one time, and the social issues are very important. But he said, I'm not as concerned about this social issue and that social issue. I'm concerned that I can't put food on my family's table.
That's more important
That's
than
what's
anything.
more impressing to me on some of these other issues. And I'm not going to talk about the issues because they are important to people that it affects. But when you can't put food on your table and heat your house, that's a big problem. So, I say let's give the guy a chance. Let's see what happens. And you can't give him a month. You got to give at least a year or so to see what happens. And let's get his confirmations, his appointments confirmed, and let's get this show on the road and not mess around with this for 9 months. Dilly-dallying.
No, you're right. Absolutely. We're going to take a quick pause.
Okay.
When we come back, I want your opinion. It's more remote. Our neighbor, the major impact with the building of the moving the Wells Fargo Center, the Sixers into Center City. Have you heard the latest?
No.
It's going back to the Wells Fargo. They're going to demolish the Wells Fargo building, and they're going to build 2 complexes there, one for the Flyers and one for our basketball team, the 76ers.
Well, if you want to hear my answer on that, I'll give you the Fred Harran answer on all that stuff right after our break.
Pause. Yeah, because that's a lot of talk about that. What's that, Joe?
I'll give you mine during a commercial break.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie, I don't think we can put your stuff on the air.
Yeah, it's a little rough. We'll return after a few words from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more excitement for you.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota is the choice for your next vehicle purchase or service this season. With new Toyota models available for immediate delivery and over 100 certified used and pre-owned vehicles for any budget, plus service specials to keep you on the road to victory. Shop or schedule online at teamtoyota.net or choose one of our 3 locations in Langhorne, Glen Mills, or Princeton. Are you part of the team?
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Welcome back. We have some more excitement on certain particular topics. I know that Charlie wanted to talk a little bit about the Windfall Act, obviously, but let's hold off on the windfall. Let's finish with what I read. In a move that will likely stun many, the plan to bring a $1.3 billion arena to Market Street in Center City has been abandoned. On Sunday, it just happened, just yesterday, around noon. A union representative and city official confirmed with NBC that the team has worked out a new deal with Comcast and Spectacor and has backpedaled on a plan that would have brought an arena to the area of the intersection of Market and Filbert at 10th and 11th Streets. That's where the site would be. Ron Boyer, the president of the Philadelphia Building and Construction Trades Council, he said the team plans to demolish the Wells Fargo Center. It'll eventually build a new arena in South Philadelphia for the Sixers and Flyers. Now, as Charlie can add, it may just be one building, but I think that's still all speculation right now. But the Sixers and Spectacor will work on a revitalization commitment to the Market Street businessmen in the neighborhood that are going to, that's all abandoned, but, what are they going to get out of it? So apparently there's going to be some deals that will, be made and money will be allocated to the Center City District. I don't even know why. I mean, if it's being abandoned, why do we have to pay?
Right.
But, that's not my, area.
And now you got Macy's closing down there.
You got Macy's closing down. So there's revitalization really does need to occur. So maybe that is the answer. Your thoughts on that, Charlie, and Fred's going to give his input as well.
Yeah, I just want to see what happens when they get. I'm glad they're not putting it in Center City. I'll tell you that right now. That would have been a royal mess.
Well, it's too congested. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know what they were thinking to begin with.
No,
you can't get down those streets now.
And how about parking? Where are they going to park?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were thinking, but I guess a new building is good for unions and stuff. It'll give a lot of work.
Well, there'll be more money made if they demolish the Wells Fargo Center.
Oh, I'm sure.
To your point, Fred, I don't even know why they're doing that.
I don't know why they're. I mean, we go down there quite often, and it's a great building.
It's a beautiful building.
I don't know.
Bree pointed out
why they need a new one, but I'm sure the workers, it'll bring some revenue at least for people, but do they really need a new building? I don't know. And spending what, 1 point somewhat billion?
1.3 billion.
Billion. And what we were talking about before the break, before we worry about stuff like that, we've got people here that don't have anywhere to live.
That's very true.
So I know it's a very touchy subject because, it's also, without that work, it'd take money out of people's pockets, so I get that. But before we spend money on things like that, we really should be a little bit more in tune to the crises around us. The police department, as you said, they can't get enough people.
No.
We really have to make sure our infrastructure is sound before we take on a project, or they take on a project like that. But the good news is that's not in Bucks County. So
no, that's for sure. But a lot of it, with the crime comes up from Philadelphia, which obviously we have a great administration with you being sheriff, with Jennifer Shorn, our district attorney, the police departments. A lot of Philadelphia leadership is up here now.
Oh, a lot of, Mayor Nutter had taken it out of their contract that they could leave, fire, and the city workers could leave the city. And as soon as that was done, it was a mass exodus. And that became a little bit of a problem for the counties, because I used to say, the amount of law enforcement that live in the Northeast back then was kind of like, for us, a DMZ. It was, almost a demilitarized zone, because it held crime at bay. They didn't get through those districts. But now a lot of those folks have left the Northeast and are living all over Bucks County and other counties, Montgomery, wherever. But some of the criminal element has moved. But it's good for those folks. You're getting into county school districts and things of that nature, so I certainly understand why they would want that. But it has, over the last, when was Nutter? 2 decades ago.
Yeah, at least 20 years.
Right?
That's true. Well, let me think about that.
No, he was 8 years, 10.
About 12 years,
yeah,
maybe?
something like that, 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
So, that has affected us. But like everything else, you adjust, and you'll deal with the problems.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how that will affect us. I just think it's a lot of money being spent that Philadelphia could probably use in other areas. But I'm not a voter in Philadelphia,
No,
so
but I'll tell you
I
one
had
thing.
no say there.
A lot of the Bucks County people were not, where they were opposed to. The people that I spoke to, they were wondering the same that we have been questioning. Why? Why make a change like this?
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a need for it. But, obviously City Council approved it, but now Spectacor and the Sixers decided,
Right.
We're going to stay right where we are.
Well, that's good. I'm glad, because they wouldn't have been able to handle that traffic.
No.
That was just.
How many Bucks County residents would even decide to go to a game?
It probably would
Better to
deter
watch
me.
it.
At least, bad enough the traffic, but the cops do a really good job.
They do.
Getting you in and out. You for the amount of folks going in there and coming out, the Philly PD traffic unit does a great job.
They do down there.
It looks like a mess when you get in there, but it moves.
It absolutely does.
So
now, what would happen? I thought of that as well, Fred. If in Center City, Philadelphia, how difficult would it be maneuvering people? The police would just be at wit's end. I mean,
it would be almost impossible. And then you've got all the people coming south of the city, coming up 95. Now they actually have to go into Center City, or as opposed to getting off in South Philly, and they're right there at the stadium. So I don't know if somebody didn't think it through. Maybe they did, and that's why it's back where it is. So we'll see what happens.
Good point. Charlie, your thoughts?
All I'm saying is the traffic will be so horrendous. You almost want to see the first day what would happen, and then you change their mind.
Well, it'd be too late at that point.
There's no way they could handle that traffic going in and out.
You would need
you know how hard it is getting in and out now without that.
You would need a 4-wheel drive from Team Toyota to get there.
Yeah, or helicopter.
Well, I'll tell you, we could only fit so many of our apparatuses down there. That's for sure. Holy cow! Yeah, we get the 4-wheel drivers down there, and
yeah. Oh my God.
It's just horrible to even think the repercussions that would occur when
It's
something.
that part of it. They gave that poor community, the Chinese community, they put them through hell the last 6 months.
Yeah.
With fighting, and worrying, the hearings. So now at least they're back to normal.
I have it. If I can shift gears back for a moment, with pertinence to the sheriff's department. When I look at how thin Philadelphia is right now, and let's just go to the top of our administration, which is the governor, who's doing a fantastic job, Mr. Shapiro. Here's a question. When it becomes a point where it's very precarious, you only have 51, I don't know, Charlie, I think it's around 5,100 officers. That even sounds high to me.
I don't think it's
probably not even that high.
I think it's the mid-40s.
Yeah, it probably is.
46, 45.
Yeah, and you got a lot of administrative jobs, police radio, some other administrative jobs. But when it gets to a point where when you look at per capita and how many people are in the city of Philadelphia, let's take the sheriff's department. That's that's the top of law enforcement. Does there come a time, I know there are rules and there are certain, what's word am I looking for? Certain enactments that can occur where the sheriff of Philadelphia or maybe coming down from the governor's office could actually, now this is going back into the Western days, deputizing people. We're having some of our citizens coming in to help with the police. That would just be a mess. But
yeah, you have to, I get that question a lot too, because the sheriff of the county can deputize people. And you really
do get this a lot? Because
I do get the question a lot.
I didn't really even think about
There's
it.
some sheriffs all over the country, and sheriff departments take on different roles throughout the United States. But there's some that have done that. You got to be very careful.
Oh my God.
We're not living in we're living in a very urban area.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very careful. You have to have people that are well trained on the law and well trained on de-escalation and just had a communication and the rules of criminal procedure,
Right.
and it has to have a background check. So it's just not, it's just not the wild west. So
No, my God.
I do get that.
Posses.
I do get that question a lot, believe it or not, and you take it day by day, and you see what happens. I mean, since I've been there now 3 years, and I didn't bring the stats with me. Maybe that's something we could talk about at the next show. A year in review. And I'm not talking about the things we've done in the sheriff's office. I'm talking, because we talk about that all the time on the show, but I'm talking about stats on arrests and warrants. And what really is interesting, the amount of people that every single day are coming in for their gun permits. And that number has escalated over the last 4 years tremendously, from what I'm told.
Same way in Sully.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, people want their carrying permits, and there's been legislation to do away with having to go and get it through the sheriff's office. I disagree with that. We do checks on people. You got to
Sure.
make sure that the guns are in the right hand, that the permits are in the right hands, and there's a whole array of checks and balances that we have. Also, I just got one the other day. Police departments will send me emails if they have what we call negative contact with certain individuals in their communities that are disruptive or that do things that are not in favor of the community, and we could pull their gun permits. And I've done that. I do it, fairly regularly when a police department or a police chief, requests that, because the last thing I want is a gun in the wrong person's hands.
Well, the responsibility has been very successful over the years with it being in your hands.
Well, so far, knock on wood, and I don't want to jinx myself, we haven't had any issues that I know of. But it's very important, and people have the right to have a firearm. People want to protect themselves, and I get it. And as I've said 100 times before, I don't make the law, I don't interpret the law. We just enforce the law, and that's why we have legislators and attorneys and things of that nature.
Sure.
But whatever the law is, that's what we will carry out. And the law of the land now is that there's certain checks and balances that are in place to make sure that the folks, that the proper people get guns, get carrying permits. So we ensure that happens. But the numbers are astronomical. Every single day there's a line of people, waiting
Sure.
to get their permit. And now we've actually instituted, I think I've talked about this, I will do a mobile gun permitting. So we'll go, if you had an event here at Team Toyota,
We could do it.
I could set up. I bring one of my clerks and a deputy to come. They set up all the computer equipment, the backdrop, the whole 9
We
yards.
could do it right here.
And you could do gun permitting right here. And
Sure.
I've done it with some businesses have done it. Some community groups have done it. So, and it doesn't cost you anything. I do it free of charge.
You get a car butter there, Tom.
And you can get a car. Is that what you
Well,
said?
that's true. Yes.
You get a nice car. You still have that pickup truck. I like that color, that
Excellent.
battleship
That's
gray.
a beautiful one. Yeah, we'll
It's
get
probably
that signed
called
right up
something
for you.
else.
Just
But
a quick check from 30 or 40,000. Your payment will be low, and you'll be in
well,
great
you like
shape.
picking up checks, so
Yeah.
maybe you'll pay for it. I think.
I get that often.
Yeah.
Picking up checks. You'll be listening to Fred Harran. We still have some time, right, Bray? We're going to take a quick pause. I'll come back with the one question that a person talking about our show and the sheriff's department, a particular question that he would like an answer to, and
Sure.
you'll be able to eloquently
I
answer
hope.
it properly.
Or not.
Yeah, or not. That's right. Yeah, the truth, more than anything.
Well,
Charlie, don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick pause. It's time for you to put your teeth back in.
Remember he did that one
Yeah,
time?
I know, on one of our
You're
shows.
too late.
Yeah, it's too late. Bree's laughing. But, well, you get nothing but truth from us here on WBCB, right, Fred?
Yeah, and I'm sure the listeners want to hear all about Charlie's teeth.
Charlie's teeth, yeah, that's for sure. But Charlie's hanging in there with us, and so are we. Fred Harran, myself. We're going to take a quick pause, and we'll be right back.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota is the choice for your next vehicle purchase or service this season. With new Toyota models available for immediate delivery and over 100 certified used and pre-owned vehicles for any budget. Plus service specials to keep you on the road to victory. Shop or schedule online at teamtoyota.net or choose one of our 3 locations in Langhorne, Glen Mills, or Princeton. Are you part of the team?
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margarita.
Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
If you don't do something, you have twice as long.
Welcome back to WBCB's Behind the Badge. We are here with Fred Harran, and boy, are we coming up with some terrific topics, especially with the incoming of our new administration next week. Fred, less than 7 days, or
A week from
a
today,
week
right?
from today.
2
Sure.
hours, a week and 2 hours.
The swearing in.
Yeah.
The incoming, and hopefully it's not going to be incoming in another way. The incoming of the new administration, hopefully I believe, as Fred said earlier, I'm feeling much more optimistic, and I think things will turn around with a lot for the economy, for the safety.
The bar was left so low with the old administration, you got nowhere to go but up.
That's the truth.
Listen, and if the new incoming president just puts in an 8-hour day, we've increased our time to 300%.
Of 7 hours.
Oh, did I say that? I
Yeah,
shouldn't have
about
said
7
that.
hours. Yeah. Listen, I'm sure
What
there
do
was
I
a lot
care?
of effectiveness with President Biden over his 50 years in political life, but it's time to,
Listen,
for him to take a nap.
I think he's been taking a nap.
Yeah.
But as a senator, I mean, you listen to old Biden, not old Biden, but Biden years ago.
Sure.
I mean, he was very, he was good.
His acuity was there.
And the crime bill with Bill Clinton and things like that. I mean, he wasn't that bad. I actually feel bad for him. I think
Yes.
when somebody gets to that stage in life, I think it's a shame what they put him out there to be mocked, and he doesn't deserve to be mocked because he's got an illness.
Sure he does.
And the poor guy doesn't even realize it. So I feel bad, and I think his inner circle was they should not have done that to him. He should have left a long time ago.
Oh my God, yeah, they masqueraded him for a long time.
It is what it is. I love the. Do you see the? They translated the lips of Barack Obama and Donald Trump at the Jimmy Carter funeral. Now, you watched the Eagles game yesterday, and I just was thinking to myself, the refs are, the coaches are there, and they're talking like this, so the cameras can't. So you're telling me those two guys, they're smart enough to know that their lips were going to be red.
Absolutely.
If somebody thinks that was done by accident, I mean, you got Eagles coaches are worried about somebody seeing a play on television and calling it out 3 seconds later.
Andy Reid he's still popular for that.
So there's no way these two didn't know that their lips were going to be translated.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, that's not
that question. The question that the one listener sent in: can the sheriff departments, when necessary, and this is for the benefit of our listenership, seek connections with men and women as marshals who would support their law enforcement authorities who needed, example, Philadelphia, deportation begins with other regions like New York as well. when suspected cells of criminals who entered our country and continue to commit violent crimes?
So the quick answer to that question is, yeah, the sheriff can deputize people. The longer answer is it would be irresponsible just to do that without the proper training, without the background investigation, the background checks, without knowing the rules of criminal procedure, without knowing policies and procedures within the department. So it's this isn't the 1800s, the Wild Wild West.
No, that's true.
So you gotta be careful.
Be very careful.
You gotta make sure
Do you bring back retired law enforcement?
Well,
and put them in certain positions where they could be effective.
The problem now, I really, the problem now is that folks don't want to. The new generation doesn't really want to work the hours.
No.
That are required of law enforcement, and it's a 24, 7-day a week, 365 day job, and the younger, not all of them, of course. I'm not talking about all of them, but some folks just want to work, 8 to 4 Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, that's true. Some of the old timers would be there, though.
Yeah, but also
it's very difficult.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's hard because that's why people are retired. They don't want to. They want to be that aggressive anymore and things of that nature. So listen, I don't know if I would want to be on the road. Wednesday in February at 3 a.m. I don't know if I could do it.
No.
Right. I mean, it's just especially in this weather.
Yeah. Maybe you employ them in certain sedentary. No, I mean these are only thoughts off the top of my head.
Well, they've talked about that in school districts
positions.
too, retired officers and stuff. But is that what you want? I think
it's horrible to think about it, but because of the depletion, especially in Philadelphia, New York, I think they're going to be handed.
And the pay's good, so it's not the pay so much.
No.
It's just the hours were never good. But now with 12-hour shifts, you never work more than 3 days in a row. But it's tough. I also think there's a lot of people that are afraid that they're not supported. In some departments, they're not supported.
That's true.
And that's a problem. I was very spoiled. And I'll use the word spoiled in Ben Salem because I had an elected official that was, very, very supportive.
Mayor Joe.
Of law enforcement. And that was a plus. You could only go up from there when you get a boss that's supportive emotionally, financially, and there, it's much easier to do the job. But when you get bosses that aren't, or you get townships that don't have mayors that might have 4 or 5 council people and they're split, some are supportive, some are not supportive, some think they're supportive but they're really not. No one's going to come out and say they're not supportive of police departments, but you got to put your money where your mouth is.
That's exactly right. I mean, it couldn't be said any more eloquently.
I mean, it's as simple as that. You can't say you're supportive and not be supportive. So we'll see what happens, but I think it could be done. The question, but I'm not sure it's a good idea, just on the surface.
Well, what are your plans, your vision for 2025? I mean, you presently, what you have ahead
for me in 2020.
25.
Boy, I'm stuttering.
That's all right.
In 25, I want to keep moving forward. The sheriff's department, try to do more things. We have a school resource officer now in one school. I could tell you without saying any names, we're looking at another facility that's inquiring now to have a deputy sheriff as a school resource officer. We are going to be
phenomenal.
I'm trying to expand and do more things.
Are you getting support? That's the difficult question.
See, my position is a little different. I answer to the people.
Yeah, I know you do.
But financially, the commissioners have some leverage over. Well, I don't say say because I've been creative with them, and I don't want to this is where politics comes in handy. Because my job is to get the job done, not worry about pleasing one party or another.
No, it should never be that way.
That's not my issue, and I've been very lucky, with certain things. I've had people like Jean DiGirolamo and Pam Van Bunk. Our controller, and there's always that saying that controller is the fourth commissioner. She wields a lot of power, financially, and when I propose ideas, at least to 2 of them, they seem to be, they are supportive. supportive with questions, checks and balances, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. So we get things done. We're able to get some things done. 2025, we're going to become CALIA. That's national accreditation. We will be the only second department in Bucks County, one of 14 in the Commonwealth, but only the second one in Bucks County to achieve that. Do you know which is the only other one in Bucks County?
The only one? Ben Salem.
Of course.
Of course.
So
and who is responsible for all of that, Fred?
Well,
you got Mayor Joe was supportive of it, and
Frank
you
Friel was
led
the
it.
first one
Frank,
to get us accredited in Ben Salem, and then it carried on. We had lost it for some years because of technical reasons, but then got it back when I became director. We got accreditation back.
That's great.
And I feel it's very important. So the sheriffs will be hopefully nationally accredited by the end of 2025. Really reworking the daily operation to make sure that we're out there doing the best job we possibly can. We got some equipment in 2024, so we're continuing with our training. We got a lot of civil unrest equipment to make sure that, because there are some municipalities that might not feel, their elected officials might not feel that something is that important to keep under control. Well, I don't answer to them. I answer to the people. So I could put my department anywhere to make sure that there's no civil unrest. We've done that, and we're going to keep pushing forward. We're getting ready to launch a new online application, which will allow people instant access to location of criminals, to people that are incarcerated, rather. We'll notify them of different things. So we're getting ready to launch that. And we'll see what happens.
Phenomenal. I like this deputy chief position, though, for the school administration. But I'm sure it's going to have a lot to do with protecting measures,
and just making sure there's a law enforcement component to that particular institution, which I think is how does nobody in 2025? How many more school shootings do we need?
Jesus.
And again,
that's true.
These things are it's oh God, what the heck's his name? I can't. Gordon Graham.
Oh, okay.
Gordon Graham. If it's predictable, it's preventable. If you can predict something's going to happen, then you can prevent it. My family's tired of me saying that. Well, I say that every day. They're like, all right, well, it's my daughter will be, I know, Dad, if it's predictable, it's preventable. But I think Gordon Graham, and I also just want to, before I know you got to close up in a minute.
Yeah, we only have a minute or so.
Today at noon, I'm on a international Zoom.
Okay.
I'll be doing a presentation with some other key people in the United States, but the guy hosting is a guy named Paul Butler. I don't know if you've ever seen Paul Butler. He's a fantastic speaker.
Right.
So Paul Butler's hosting that today at noon. It's about some changes in the FBI regarding DNA.
Can you send me the hyperlink for that?
You have to register, but
register, okay.
It's on today at noon. You have to pre-register.
Okay.
But I could send it. I could get it to you.
Yeah, just get it to me so I can.
So it's another 2 hours it starts.
Yeah.
But you have some amazing. I'm honored to be on with some of the people that I'm on.
Yeah, and we're happy that you are on.
So I'm very honored to be a part of that. But I'll quiet up now and let you take us to closing.
Thank you again for all this notable information that's important for our listeners. You're listening to Behind the Badge with Fred Harran, who is the past Director of Public Safety in Ben Salem and our sheriff for the past 3.5 years, right?
3 years.
3 years now.
November 24, I run again. November 25, I run this year.
Yeah, and you'll be hearing more from Fred. We're going to be putting some commercials together for a special program we're doing with the Heroes program. We're going to really be stepping it up. Where all of our public servants, our police, fire, and our military, when you call the number, the 215-539-2011, that's 215-539-2011, and we're going to be getting some email blasts out there so that you'll understand when you call me. I'll be explaining how we can help you save money with everyone needs vehicles, Fred. So you'll be hearing a little bit more about
I like that one over there.
I know you do. We're going to take care of that in a couple minutes.
I don't think you have it here when I'm not here. I think you just bring it in just to tease
yeah,
me.
right. Just to tease you a little more. Charlie, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, don't forget to send that email over to me.
I will. I'll send the link over when Freddie sends it to me.
And Fred, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure listening to you.
You too, buddy.
Absolutely. We're running out of time. We're probably cutting in on somebody else's show, but that's okay. We only do it every once in a while, stealing a couple minutes. But thank you for listening. There will be more on our shows with Fred Harran, Jennifer Shorn. Be safe, stay well, don't text while you drive. And Jerry, I'll be coming home soon to walk the dog. America.